the Oz report for Monday, March 15th, 2021, and we were just talking about the Hulk, so let's start with the Hulk. If you haven't noticed, the Hulk kind of exploded in price, and if you listen to Reddit or Twitter or any other social media, then you might get the idea that it was a CSM leak or that something else shady happened. If you actually take the data that is there, then you don't really see a huge volume spike here. You see a little bit, but nothing that we haven't seen on a whole bunch of other occasions. So you actually have to look at Adam for Eve to look at this in more detail. When you look at Adam for Eve, what you see is the sell order quantity has dropped to near zero. So what happened in this case is that if there are no sell orders left, then prices become very, very volatile, because if you only have 10 left and they are spread out all over the place and you buy 5 of them, that will make the price spike. So this is much more to blame, is that we had about 200 of them on the market in November, December, and even in January, and now we're down to next to nothing, right? So in this case, this is going to be temporary, because the Hulks as tier 2 ships are actually not that difficult to make, and so there is going to be replacements coming and people wanting to jump in on these profits. So this again is going to be temporary. If you look here, the build optimal right now is around a 243, so nothing really warrants a price of 350 million, right? Build optimal being the cheapest way to build it right now. So yeah, don't try to catch the falling knife, all right? And just wait this out if you are not sitting on a stockpile. If you're sitting on a stockpile, make sure you sell them. This triggered me, though, to look at some other ships as well. What I did was I looked at all of these ships that are currently trading near 52-week lows, and that are trading the lowest compared to exactly 1 year ago. It's something that you can do really easily on Adam for Eve. And so I want to just mention some ships that are very low. You'll have to decide on your own which one is your best investment. But for example, the Estero right now, this is a ship that you get by LP, Sisters of Eve LP, trading extremely low at the moment at 50 million sell and 48 million buy. Compared to the past, this is a very, very low price on a popular ship. So this is definitely just due to a lot of people farming various types of LP, because other parts of the game are giving out less ISK because of the scarcity phase. So, same with the Cinnabol, for example. The Cinnabol trading very, very low right now. It's a popular ship. It's also traded in with Pirate Faction LP. The Dramiel, similarly, same faction there. Very, very cheap ship. And then you have some of the hacks, the heavy assault cruisers that have been nerfed recently, and so they are trading low because a lot of people are dumping these onto the market, and this is more of a panic buy and less of a change in manufacturing costs. So if you're looking, for example, at the Munin in Adam for Eve, you can see that the sell order quantity for the Munin is really high. So there's a lot of Munins on the market. The price is very, very low. The build optimal actually hasn't changed yet. So right now it's selling way below build optimal. So this is a ship that you can typically right now catch very cheaply while the market is panicking. The same thing on the this is the Munin that I just showed you on Adam for Eve. Similarly with the Eagle and the Zealot right here as well. Heavy assault cruisers just down all over the place, and this is nothing that is particularly reasonable, right? Because I've said this before, if you're looking at specifically ships, you have to look at the build cost, because anytime ships drop way below their build cost, it's typically an overreaction, because it really doesn't make sense for people to manufacture them. What happens is that people have large stockpiles, ships get nerfed, people get rid of them, and then it's just a good time to buy. So that's on ships. More interestingly, let's look at PI, right? In PI, there's two things going on. One, we had the release of the mobile Sino beacon, right? And there is a bunch of PI going in, but namely, broadcast nodes. You've seen them spike quite heavily because of it, and it's been out for a week now, and still the prices are holding. So if you're talking about broadcast nodes, very interestingly, you saw the price spike, but you also saw the sell order quantity spike, right? So that means people are liquidating stockpiles like crazy, but the price is still holding. So the demand created by mobile Sino beacons is actually quite good. It's going to be temporary. You better believe it. It's not going to hold, but right now is actually a good time to liquidate that. If you look at the second one here, guidance systems, this is very interesting because you didn't see the spike, and a lot of you might think, okay, why is that, right? If we look at guidance systems in Adam for Eve, you can see this odd thing right here. This is 12 million units of guidance systems in the market that is eclipsing any demand there is, right? This is the Forge. And if we look at it in the game browser, you can see that it's very strange down here. This is just 12 million for ridiculous high prices somewhere in the Forge out there, right? So this isn't really impacting the JITA market, but it's just quantity that is out there. If you look at the quantity that is down here, it's actually not all that much. So don't be irritated by that fact in Adam for Eve. Self-harmonizing power cores. This is much more along the lines of the broadcast nodes. Here we're seeing the price spike as well because of the mobile Sino beacon. If we look at it in game though, there's still in Adam for Eve though, there's still a lot of sell order quantity out there. So this is not one that is getting close to being bought out. Wetware Mainframe, on the other hand, also goes in the mobile Sino beacon. Also had a price spike, and if we look at it on Adam for Eve, this is really interesting because the sell order volume is really low, right? So here we're talking about this is an item where we don't have a lot of sell order quantity anymore, even though the price spiked. So there should be a lot of people liquidating their stockpiles, but they don't seem to be out there. So what we're seeing is just quite an empty market here, with not a lot of items left. So that's really exciting. So I'm going to keep my eye on this, because this is going to be a market that is very prone to spike. Now, for all of the other PI goods, I can recommend the market trends section of Adam for Eve, because what I did here for today's Oz report is I looked at P3 and P4 compared to exactly 1 year ago. So these are the P3 and P4 items that are trading way below last year and that have a market of at least 1 billion a day, right? So this is interesting items. So you can see here on P4, that means Nanofactory, Wetware Mainframe, the ones we just talked about, recursive computing modules. Those are the ones that are trading the most below last year. And then in P3, that's gel matrix, biopaste, guidance systems, and synthetic synapses. Now, the ones I want to look at in more detail is synthetic synapses, because not only are they trading really low, but you can see the sell order quantity just dropping off a cliff right here. So this is going down really, really quickly, and that makes this another very interesting item to look at in terms of supply, because this is already starting to rise. Also because of the possibly because of the mobile Sino beacon. Don't know if that one goes in there. Let me check. It doesn't. But so this is one that's just running short that is running short in the market, even though there was an oversupply for a long time. And so this is one to keep an eye on. I am buying the shit out of this item, to tell you the truth. The last one I want to mention where this one also goes in is probably the most interesting one, and that is robotics. Robotics is one of the biggest PI markets out there, and also here, the supply that we saw, we started the year at a huge oversupply, and we have now gotten down to a supply, a sell order volume around 300,000, which is, you know, just maybe a day or two of supplies. If you look at here, 300,000 is about a day's worth of supply. So the total robotics on the JITA market is only 1 day of supply, and that is not a lot. So if you're looking for price spikes, then robotics could be one. Yes, the demand for robotics has gone down a lot, also because of fuel blocks, but you know, this is still a market to watch, and definitely a market where I am investing in right now in terms of robotics. Okay, that was a little bit more detail than we usually do on the Oz report. So the rest of it I'm going to do just rather quickly. I did the same exercise with Moongoo. So if you're wondering what is the Moongoo that is trading the most below where it was a year ago, and that is hafnium on the one end, unsurprisingly, and that is thulium. Also, these are very, very large items in terms of turnover per day, but they are also very cheap to buy right now. And so these are two that I am heavily investing in at the moment as well. Thulium, as you know, is the new meme stock of our community anyway. So thulium to the moon has a double meaning there. On salvage, by the way, burnt logic circuits are extremely cheap right now. So if you're looking to invest in a salvage good, burnt logic circuit is a very large market. That is trading very low, so another good market to invest in right now. And then trigger units, just right now, I just liquidated my entire 5 billion stockpile again, going to rebuy trigger units, by far the most profitable item all year. It just keeps on providing basically like a Pappy beacon in Delve, if that's not too soon. Let me just mention skins from the pack. So if you're looking at the let's see which one, the Reign Supreme pack that is for sale right now, that I've mentioned a few times on stream, that is this one right here, the Reign Supreme pack right now. That 35 euros that you're spending on the Reign Supreme pack, it only now gives you 29 euros worth of value. And why is that? Because the skins that everyone gets out of these packs have flooded the market, they've crashed in price, and so the whole thing isn't worth it anymore. This is an opportunity for you, I've mentioned this before, to get in on some of the skins. If you look at here, these skins typically worth several 100 million ISK. Right now they've crashed in price. Just look at some that you think may work well, that are popular ships, that maybe look nice. And you can spend some money there to invest for the long run. Really quickly, last thing today, the Nurgles. The Nurgles were incredibly popular to produce because they were very, very profitable. They have absolutely crashed in price, and the interesting thing is they're crashing way faster than the actual raw materials that go in them. So while 0-point field manipulator, the main input to Nurgles, is slowly going down. Today, the Nurgle price just absolutely crashed. This is a market overreaction, and that is also drawing the Damavik market down, because that's another input material for it. So if you're in the Nurgle market, you know, watch it crash, and it's probably too late to react now. But those are very interesting. This is very interesting market developments that you should keep an eye on if you're in that market. Last thing, Plex keeps crashing. Really nothing to say about it. It's going down more just because skill points are easier to get. There's a sale for Plex going on at a third-party site, so really no good news for Plex right now. Cool. All right, that's the Oz report. We're going to go back to the regular stream, and thanks for tuning in.